Hi, friends. Hello, the world. Welcome back to this another episode of Complaint Free Life. And with you, your host, Asel Ormonova. So, today's topic is going to be about 6 months of me going through a new adventure, starting and pursuing my dream of becoming a life coach and leaving my career behind that I had for 10 years. So I thought that it's a great time to summarize and look at some of the trends of how things have been since I decided to live my ideal life this year. So I know that many of you have been reading my monthly reporting of how things have been going for me since I decided to resign and work on my life coaching practice full time. So I will not be really going into details of summarizing that, but rather want to show you how the process, the mindset, the thinking process have been in terms of being in a new adventure and pursuing that. So it's just amazing that it's been 6 months already. So half a year went by. And when I started, it was very scary at the same time, very exciting. And it continues to be that way. So the reason why I decided to do or to live my ideal life was because I finally wanted to live everything from a point of view of me deciding how to do things and not depending on external circumstances of how to do and how to design my life. So, up until now, for the last 10 years that I've been working in my previous employment, where I loved what I did, but I still felt like I was always following certain instructions, certain ways of working, and also places that I went to work. So, I thought that ideal life for me means where I get to decide all of that, of who I want to be, where I want to live, what do I want to do, and how do I spend my time, basically. And ideal life does not mean that I will not be suffering or I will not be having challenges because that's impossible, right? So we're all human beings. We have all of those packages of great times and not so great times. However, the way that I wanted to design my life as such was to make it to my own unique taste, basically. So, since that journey started, a lot of people told me that I'm very brave. And I think the some of the ways that they said it, my brain wanted to interpret as, "Are you really sure you're doing the right thing? Are you out of your mind?" Leaving this wonderful job with great prospects for your career, are you really sure that this is how you want to do things? And I think this might have been maybe behind some of the "you are so brave" statements, but I decided to interpret it the way that I think they intended to tell me, which is truly that yes, I did a courageous thing of um, deciding to pursue my new dream after finishing my other dream and starting a new chapter. So, having said that, I think the half a year, if I look at the trends, I think the biggest trend basically is to liberate myself from a lot of the dependencies first. And those dependencies were, uh, let's start with medical insurance, the pension, the privileges, certain status, the titles, and all of this. And I think having all of that was always giving me the sense of security, and that's amazing. And many people have that, and I think we all go through building all of those securities, and that's part of human nature. But I really wanted for myself to understand how it is like to be living life where there are no such securities from outside. And when there are no securities from outside, how do you deal with it? And how do you really create that security from within? So that's why I really wanted to create and find and develop that security from within rather than depending on external things. So therefore, in the last 6 months, I haven't had any of the medical insurance, any of the insurance at all, any of the pension prospects or whatever, and any of the titles except telling people that I'm a life coach. And even then, many people don't really understand what it is. So therefore, consider that title is also somehow gone. So, yeah, and having basically no such external stabilizing factors, basically, that would give me security, they were no longer there. Yet I have started developing that internal security of being able to create anything I want in life without having any of that. And that was amazing to know that I can experience that inner freedom. I can experience that feeling of I don't need those things to show me that I need security, but I create security, sense of security and confidence and everything with my own thoughts, even in times when there is no evidence for it. So that has been amazing. And the other trend, I think, is actually, if I reverse it, removing fears. And this has been also very huge for me because up to now, I think there has been a lot of fears about who I can become and what I can do in life. Because in terms of who I can become, I think I always depended on certain external decisions of who I could become, applying for jobs and applying for certain titles, excuse me, certain promotions, right? So it has always been depending on external circumstances. And whenever I didn't get it or whenever I didn't apply, I always felt insecure and I think I had this fear of, oh, I have to have this or I have to have that, and if I don't, then I will not be this person or that person. And I think I've been able to remove that type of fears, and also fear of not being able to live without this employer. And I think that fear is also gone. And whenever I removed all of these fears, I could totally feel this inner freedom. So I am so grateful that I was able to achieve that and had the privilege as a human being, who has a brain, who's able to analyze all of these thoughts and on these feelings and come to a conclusion that I can actually live my life just the way I want to and the way that I design and do all the things that I want to without any compromises. And that has been amazing. And also, the other trend is knowing that I am pursuing a dream of multiplying, achieving dreams not only for myself, but for other people. Isn't that amazing to be surrounded by people who want to work on their own growth, who want to develop that desire further and explore their potentials? And I can be there in the accompanying that journey with them. And therefore, not only I'm accomplishing my own dream of who I want to be and what I want to do, but also multiplying that dream with others' dream. Because whenever my clients achieve their dreams, I get so much dopamine hit of being so happy. And it just makes me extraordinarily happy and honored that I can not only help achieve my dreams, but help other people achieve their dreams. I mean, how amazing is that? In getting paid for it. So, therefore, this has been an amazing journey of half a year. Now, obviously, every journey has their own challenges, right? So my challenges in the last half a year has been a lot because my dramatic brain says, oh no, we had left to suffer and everything, right? So, but if I wanted to be very factual about it, then I went through being suspected of having ovary cancer, and I needed to go through a lot of tests and everything. And in times when I didn't have an insurance, so you can imagine how scary that sounds like, but that was scary, and my brain was dramatizing a lot of the time. I had to make decisions over life or death, and that was the most difficult decision I had to make in life. But decisions need to be made so that we can move forward. I also needed to get let go of certain past that I was so much holding on to. And I'm happy that I was able to let go of that past. I had to witness suffering of my mom, or rather, I was there and I'm still continuing to witness, unfortunately, how life changes from mobile version of it to immobile version of when my mom is now a wheelchair user, and that was a difficult moment to digest, and it still continues to be very difficult. Yet whenever I have these challenges and many more, I know that I can always experience those suffering, experience those challenges without resisting. And that has been huge as well, because I no longer sit down and say, oh, this shouldn't be happening to me. I shouldn't have been suspected of cancer, or I shouldn't have had this. I shouldn't have had mother who suffered from breast cancer or whatever, right? So I, instead of doing all that drama, I just was able to get into that mode of this is how human experience is, and this is how life is. That is very challenging at times, yet we all know, or at least many of us know, that we overcome that because we're very resilient human beings. And I've been able to overcome all of that and go through those sufferings, those go through those challenges with all my tools of coaching, with all my skills of coaching myself. And I've been very fortunate to have that skill to do that on myself, with myself, and having many coaches who coach me as well to go through these phases. And I've been very, very thankful for that. And also, in all of this, learning how much trust, how much self love can help going through this process easier and more caringly than any other way. Because whenever I trusted myself, whenever I loved myself without any conditions, I was able to go through that knowing that no matter what happens, I trust my abilities to overcome that. And that has been huge. And also working on so many beliefs and so many um, limiting beliefs that I had to get rid of, which were also limiting me in believing and in trusting myself. And once I have been able to do that, and of course, the journey continues, right? The journey continues of facing new challenges, facing new ways of solving problems, but knowing that I can, and knowing that my clients, all of them, can go through those challenges and can solve all of that because they have all their tools, all their abilities to do that is amazing. So I've been thinking how ideal really my life is with all of the ups and downs, and me knowing and trusting myself that I can go through this, and trusting and using these tools to help others go through this as well and achieving their wonderful dreams. So, thank you so much for joining me and accompanying me through my journey. of learning all about how my life has been since I decided to become a life coach and create a new chapter in my life. So, if you have any questions or any suggestions, you let me know. Until then, I wish you a great week. Bye bye.